Sometimes, a woman can fall deeply for someone and yet, instead of running toward that feeling, she runs away from it. You might sense that something's there, the glances, the energy, the way she lingers when she doesn't need to. But just when you're about to get closer, she pulls back. This confusing dance of closeness and distance isn't random, it's often rooted in fear. When a woman is falling for you but terrified to admit it, her actions will speak louder than her words. She won't always come right out and say it, but her subconscious will leak out clues in the smallest, quietest ways. It could be in the way she avoids eye contact after a vulnerable moment, or how she suddenly becomes colder after sharing a deep laugh with you. What you're witnessing is the internal struggle between desire and fear, between the heart that wants to open and the mind that fears what might happen next. These mixed signals are not about manipulation. They are protective reflexes, driven by past wounds, insecurities, or the sheer overwhelming intensity of her feelings for you. One of the most subtle but telling signs is that she acts nervous around you. Even if she's normally confident, you'll see it in her body language. She might fidget, touch her hair, stumble on her words, or avoid sustained eye contact. Her nervous energy is her mind racing, trying to manage emotions that feel too big, too fast. She might laugh a little too loudly at your jokes or avoid certain topics that would reveal how deeply she cares. It's not because she doesn't want you to know. She's just terrified of what it would mean if you did. That fear of emotional exposure makes her dance around her feelings, instead of owning them. Another powerful indicator is inconsistency. One moment, she might message you first, be bubbly and engaged, and the next, she may seem distant or emotionally unavailable. This isn't emotional immaturity, it's emotional protection. When someone is falling hard but afraid, they test their feelings in waves. The closeness triggers fear, so they pull back to regain control. But then the absence of you becomes unbearable, so they reach out again. It's a confusing cycle for you, but for her, it's an internal war between vulnerability and safety. You'll also notice her asking you deep, emotionally charged questions. She might ask about your past, your fears, your definition of love, or what you're looking for in a partner. These aren't casual queries, they're attempts to understand the emotional landscape she's stepping into, but then she might suddenly change the topic, or deflect if you turn those questions back to her. She wants to open up, but opening means risk, and risk feels terrifying when her heart is on the line. Her curiosity is real, but her defenses are louder. When a woman starts to care deeply for you, but she's scared of the fallout, she will begin to push you away gently, subtly, almost invisibly. She might say things like, "You deserve someone better," or "I don't want to ruin our friendship." She rationalizes her fear as logic, trying to convince both of you that you're better off apart. But underneath those words is a heart that's screaming the opposite. She wants you to fight for her, to see past her walls, to reassure her that she is worth the risk. But she's terrified of what happens if you don't. Physical proximity becomes another battlefield. She might gravitate toward you, sitting closer, finding excuses to touch you lightly on the arm or shoulder. But if things become too intimate, she retreats. It's like watching someone reach out and flinch at the same time. You might even feel like she's playing games, but she's not. She's just overwhelmed by her own emotions. The attraction is real, the fear is just stronger for now. She also shows signs of jealousy but try to hide it. If you talk about other women, she might change the subject, get quiet, or laugh it off in a forced way. If you get close to someone else, she might suddenly become more distant or even passive-aggressive. She won't say she's jealous, because admitting that would mean admitting she has feelings. But her silence speaks volumes. Her eyes will linger a bit longer, and her tone will shift because deep down, she's scared of losing something she hasn't even allowed herself to fully have. Sometimes she opens up emotionally in bursts, then disappear emotionally afterward. One night she texts you something deep and vulnerable, maybe about her fears, her past, or how much she values you. Then, the next day, she might be cold or even ghost you for a bit. This doesn't mean she's manipulative, it means that sharing her feelings made her feel exposed, and her survival instinct kicked in. It's emotional whiplash, but it's also emotional honesty. She's not good at pacing her feelings yet. Her friends might drop hints. They might tease her when you're around or make comments that suggest they know more than she's letting on. If her friends look at the two of you a certain way, if they smile knowingly or suddenly go quiet when you enter the room, it's a sign that she's talked about you and a lot. A woman who's trying to suppress her feelings may still need to vent those emotions somewhere safe. If her inner circle seems to know you without knowing you, it's because she's been emotionally tangled in thoughts of you for a while. She also makes sacrifices for you, even in small ways. Maybe she goes out of her way to help you, support you, or show up when you need someone. She might remember small details about your life, bring you something you casually mentioned once, or offer help before you even ask. These are love language whispers, but if you compliment her for it, she likely downplay it, pretend it was nothing, because to acknowledge that care would be to admit that she feels something deeper, and that scares her more than she can admit. Another major sign is emotional mirroring. She subconsciously mirrors your tone, your gestures, your phrases. When we're emotionally connected to someone, our brains sync in subtle ways. If you're excited, she's excited. If you're anxious, she tenses up. She's emotionally attuned to you, but she might not even realize it. And if she does, she might try to mask it so you don't see how deep her feelings run. She also try to improve herself silently in ways that reflect your values. If you're into fitness, she might suddenly hit the gym more. If you love reading, she might ask for book suggestions. These aren't coincidences, they're alignment attempts. She wants to be the version of herself that you'll admire, even if she pretends it's just her personal growth journey. It's not about being fake, it's about trying to earn the place she already secretly wants in your life. When she's falling but scared, she avoid romantic settings with you, not because she doesn't want romance, but because it makes the situation too real. A quiet dinner, a walk under the stars, those are moments where the truth might slip out. So she keep things light, platonic, fun, because the deeper the intimacy, the harder it becomes to control the truth that's bubbling inside her heart. She might also use sarcasm or humor to mask her true emotions. If you compliment her, she might joke it off or make a self-deprecating comment. Humor becomes her armor. It's a way to deflect emotional intensity and avoid vulnerability. But if you listen closely, you'll notice the emotional honesty hiding inside those jokes. She's telling you how she feels without actually telling you. That's how fear speaks indirectly, through coded language. Then there's the long, lingering look. The way her eyes rest on you when she thinks you're not looking. That's when her guard is down. When her feelings are fully exposed, even if just for a second. That silent gaze is often more honest than any words she could say. If you catch her doing this and she quickly looks away, it's a sign that her heart is louder than her defenses. She might also talk about the future, but only in vague terms. She say things like, "Wouldn't it be fun to travel there someday?" Or "I wonder what kind of house I'll live in when I'm older." While sneakily watching your reaction, she's testing the emotional waters, trying to see if you imagine a future with her, without directly admitting she wants one with you. It's a subtle invitation wrapped in casual speculation. Ultimately, when a woman is falling for you but terrified, her actions will tell a story her words are too scared to voice. She love you in fragments, in delayed texts and worried glances, in nervous laughter and inconvenient silence. She push you away just to see if you'll come closer. She hide her heart behind logic, timing or excuses, but it's there, beating wildly every time you walk into the room. She wants you, but more than that, she wants to be safe in wanting you. She's afraid of heartbreak, of being too much or not enough. She's not playing hard to get, she's protecting the most fragile parts of herself. The question is, will you recognize the signs before she talks herself out of what could be the most real connection she's ever felt? And more importantly, will you be the one who stays long enough for her fears to fade and her love to finally speak?